The technical bar just dropped through the floor. Anyone can code now. So what decides who keeps their jobs isn't syntax, it's knowing why the thing you're building should exist in the first place. I call this business sense, and it is the one thing AI cannot touch. Here's what this actually looked like for me. Two of some of the biggest wins in my career where business sense, not technical work, made all of the difference. I'm gonna walk you through both of these stories to show you what business sense actually looks like in practice. About 6 months ago, my team was running a high visibility A/B test on a feature that needed massive improvements. We had been trying to make meaningful change for over 3 months. By the end of it, we had well over 10 different iterations and all of them failed to move customer outcomes. The timing was starting to get really bad because we were moving into one of the busiest times of the year for the business. So leadership wanted stability, to minimize all risk, and to turn off any experiments that were not doing well. After 3 months, we had no real learnings. At most, we had one shot to try again if we could get leadership buy-in. We needed a new lens on the data, so I asked some of my software engineers if they could give me access to some classification model data that was part of the experiment. What I found suggested something that was very counterintuitive. Maybe the thing we were testing wasn't actually valuable to the customers at all. So with a maximum of one shot left, I proposed, instead of trying one more time and trying to get it over the line, how about we test one of our leap of faith assumptions underlying this whole thing? Whether the customers find this feature useful at all. I had to make the case directly to my principal product manager, to directors, and to VPs who had no obligation to listen to me when their directive was to minimize all risk in the product. I made my case and they let us run with it, luckily, and removing this feature outperformed 3 months of iterative testing. The analysis is what surfaced the problem, but what actually changed the outcome was being willing to challenge the core assumptions of the business. And not only challenge them, but frame that challenge to people with a lot more authority than me to be willing to place a bet on it. Okay, but you might say that's one very narrow case, one specific experiment. Does business sense actually generalize to something bigger than one A/B test? Right now, there is a massive shift in customer expectation. People are asking the question, why can't I just give my tax documents to ChatGPT and have it file my taxes for me? There are a lot of big players in this space now, and so we are in a race to be able to do that and to be able to say, hey, give us your tax documents and we'll take care of it, fully AI automated. Whoever wins that race wins a huge customer base. And so knowing some of the highest level strategic bets of the business and knowing very intimately the data foundations that I had access to, I realized there was a huge gap that could cause big problems. Not only was it going to be difficult to track progress towards some of these strategic bets, but in some cases it was going to be impossible. None of the infrastructure was built to track whether the AI native features that we wanted to track were actually working. Fixing this wasn't a decision that I could make or solve by myself. It involved 5 different engineering teams, 2 different product teams that all had to buy in and contribute before they saw any payoff at all. It took months of making the case to each and every individual team to make their contribution to the bigger picture. Recently, I'm happy to say that they all bought in. What we're building right now will serve as the shared data foundation for multiple data science teams to measure their work against, including AI native work that had no way to prove its impact before. You might be thinking, okay, cool, Justin, 2 specific examples, but those don't actually apply to me and my work. So what's the actual takeaway? Here it is. Both of those started as a technical read on the data, but the technical read on the data didn't actually change anything. The first one worked because I could tell the difference between data that was interesting and data that, if acted on boldly during the riskiest time of the business, could save months and months and months of product strategy and road mapping. The second one worked for the same reason, just bigger. I had to see a gap that the business didn't know it had. Then I had to get 5 different teams with no reason to listen to me to invest in it anyways. The data was just information. It didn't tell anyone what to do or what the implications were. That was all me. And please feel free to drop any stories you have in the comments about you leveraging business sense in your own career. So, in closing, technical rigor got me both insights, but rigor pointed at the wrong question is just a well-built answer that nobody needed. Business sense is what aims it at the assumptions that are actually load-bearing, at the gap that's actually going to matter in 1 year's time. That combination is what let me shape where the business went next, not just optimize what it's already doing. The technical bar has dropped for everyone in this field. The bar for understanding the business you're in and what assumptions in that business to challenge and how to get people to challenge them with you didn't move at all. If anything, it's the whole game now. If this kind of video is useful for you, please consider subscribing. I put one out every week. Next week, I'm going to be asking myself a harder question that comes right after this one. Knowing everything that I know now, would I still become a data scientist in 2026?